How are you doing, you wonderful nerds? Scott here, and I'm actually away for a family emergency for the next week or so. So for the next couple videos filling in for me, we'll have some great nerdy YouTubers that you might recognize. The first one is Auram from Auram's Comics, here to talk about his favorite superhero, Spider-Woman, and all of the alternate versions of her throughout the comic book multiverse. So take it away, and I will see you guys at the end for some more of me talking. Spider-Woman is my favorite superhero. If you meet me for the first time, you'll probably figure that out pretty quickly, at least if we start talking about comic books. She does, however, have some pretty cool alternate universe brothers and sisters, so let's take a look at some of them, shall we? First up, let's talk about what might be the elephant in the room, the Spider-Woman of Earth 65, also known as SpiderGwen. We're not going to be talking about her too much here for a few reasons. Number one, she's pretty popular, and most of you probably know her story anyway. Number two, her origin is more closely an alternate take on Peter Parker's, as opposed to number three, Jessica Drew's. Jessica Drew is the original Spider-Woman of Earth 616, and that's who we're going to be focusing on today. Alternate versions of her, not just the mantle Spider-Woman. Make sense? Cool. Let's move on to our first real alternate Jessica Drew, who happens to also be from Earth 65, Jessie Drew. Jessie Drew, also known as Agent 77, was born to two S.H.I.E.L.D. agents who were on an assignment on the moon. Turns out his dad was actually a double agent for the Russians, causing Mommy to take Daddy out, traumatizing Jesse and inspiring him to join S.H.I.E.L.D. himself, straight out of high school. Fast forward until him and some fellow agents are on a mission fighting acid-spitting space spiders, and he got infected. When he came back to Earth, he left S.H.I.E.L.D. and joined Earth 65's Cindy Moon, who, unbeknownst to Jesse, for 10 years, cured him. Cindy told him that he needed to keep taking a type of medicine that only she could supply. This medicine would supposedly keep him from dying, but in reality, it was just giving him superpowers so that he could work for Cindy as an agent of Silk. After making this realization, Jesse resigned to his home life as a family man with his wife and two kids. Now let's move on to the Earth X storyline, taking place on Earth 9997. Here, Jessica Drew's life is basically the same as it is on Earth 616, up until the point that she is infected by Norman Osborn's Hydra, a biological weapon that he created to persuade the public into liking his presidency. That's, unsettling, given the current state of things in our world. Anyway, the Hydra banished her soul to the realm of the dead, where it would eventually come back to do good, but Spider-Woman's physical body was now being controlled by Osborn's Hydra. It came with a cool costume color swap too, which is much appreciated when it comes to Jessica Drew's ever-not-changing wardrobe. This next one is a fairly interesting take on Spider-Woman, seeing as most things have gone pretty okay for her entire life, at least when compared to 616's Jess. This is the Jessica Drew of Earth 58163, the reality that was created by Scarlet Witch during the House of M event. Around 1931, Drew contracted uranium poisoning and underwent a series of experimental procedures which granted her special abilities and kept her in stasis until Magneto started his mutant uprising. Jessica used her abilities for good, but didn't really get political. She never pledged to one side of the war, even though she was technically human. She was later recruited into S.H.I.E.L.D.'s Red Guard by Nick Fury and was declared their leading human super operative. And last, but definitely not least, is the Jessica Drew of Earth 1610, the Ultimate Universe. Now, this is an interesting one, because she definitely goes by Jessica Drew and Spider-Woman, but her true identity is Peter Parker. No, Peter Parker didn't have a sex change, he was just cloned. It was a whole ordeal, a saga, even. That's right, the Ultimate Universe had its own clone saga, and it's surprisingly well done and cool. You should check it out. Anyway, this Jess was created in a government-sanctioned program headed by a supposedly reformed Otto Octavius and his assistant Ben Reilly, who actually isn't a clone in this universe, but he sure did help create a bunch of them. She was birthed along with 4 others to be a spy for the CIA after undergoing a memory wipe to get rid of Peter's memories. Before this happened, however, all hell essentially broke loose and the ultimate clone saga ensued. At the end of it all, Jess decided to embrace her new identity and continue on as Spider-Woman. She also later took up the Black Widow mantle with a costume change when she formed the all-new Ultimates. I looked for a while, and I can honestly say that I couldn't find a reason why she did this in canon. It just kind of happened between All New Ultimates issue 1 and 2. I have a lot more to say on the subject of Ultimate Spider-Woman, but it doesn't really fit into this video's subject, so feel free to head on over to my channel where I've done just that. I talk about gender identity, the state of LGBT characters in comics, as well as give a little more insight on Jess's personality. It's a good time. Go check it out. But that's all the alternate Jessica Drews we've got for you this time. Let us know in the comments if we missed any super cool alternate Spider-Women, or you could just talk about the ones I brought up today. I know this isn't the normal stuff that you're used to seeing on NerdSync, but I hope I am somewhat of a familiar face and you enjoyed what you saw. So thanks for watching, friends.
Thank you so much for filling in, Auram. Please check out his channel. Link will be in the description down below under that big sexy subscribe button, which you can hit along with the notification bell to make sure that you don't miss next video's special guest host. In the meantime, I would also like to thank all of our patrons who support us and make these videos possible, especially Christopher Lang, Patrick Cattery, Austin Rogers, Mike Harville, Kendra, Alberto Ramirez, and Elizabeth Monsell, and of course the rest of the wonderful nerds over there at patreon.com/NerdSync. Here are some other videos that the YouTube algorithm says you might enjoy. Yes, you specifically watching right now. Until next time, my name is Scott, reminding you to read between the panels and grow smarter through comics. See ya.